So what's it like playing Nightwing?
I'll tell you what, an absolute privilege to play Nightwing. I was actually hired to play Alfred, and I arrived in the booth on the first day, and they said, "Hey, listen, Alfred, great. I've got another question for you. How about Nightwing?" And I was like, sure. And so we pulled it out of the bag quite quickly, and I love the character. I actually did a lot of research the next day, got my graphic novels out, and figured out who he was.
Are you familiar with the recent video game releases in the past 5 years or so? Have you played the Batman series on PS1?
I actually haven't really had much time to. I've been involved in voicing Final Fantasy for the past 3 years, and that's been taking up a lot of time, but I believe that the new Batman video games are fantastic.
How does it feel to kind of be part of this DC?
Spectacular. Like when I got into the exhibition hall, I started very much on one side, and when I finally reached the centre of it, there was this unbelievable DC sort of behemoth of a booth. And I was like, yes, we're in the right place. I know it's kind of hard these days. It's factionalized, isn't it? It's either can a person only be DC or Marvel, or can you straddle? I don't know. But it's great to be part of the team. They've been a phenomenal bunch of talents.
How easy or difficult was it to go from being Alfred, as a proper guy, to Nightwing, who's just, it was a total different guy?
It was an interesting switch. That I've been working with a voice actor called Robbie Damon on who's voices Spider-Man and so on. We've been working together on Final Fantasy. So I thought, who sort of fits the bill of Nightwing that I know? And it was Robbie Damon, so I'm sort of doing a sort of loose Robbie Damon when I do Nightwing, because he's a bit of a bro, a bit of a dude, I do a fair amount of accents anyway, and I think Alfred is kind of an easy one for me. But it was good to have an immediate reference for Nightwing. So Robbie, that one's for you, mate.
Did you record separately? Did you do Alfred one day, Nightwing another?
Some days there was a crossover, yeah. So the switch, I think that's probably the thing about voice acting that's most immediate, is you're asked to think on your feet quite quickly and just deliver a character. You often walk in, you've done the NDA, and you're not really sure what you're getting into, and then they tell you the moment you sign, and then you're like, oh, okay, I've got to make something happen. So it was quite an interesting sort of pivot for me when I got that here as well. Delighted to be able to do that.
With the Batman fandom, obviously, like with any fandom, gets kind of anxious when things kind of fall out of the traditional medium.
Of course, absolutely.
Keeping that in mind, what would you say comic book fans will like about Batman?
Oh, that's great. Well, I think all of what Batman is very much honoured in this movie, even though there's radical sort of cosmetic changes to it, and I think the changes to it only sort of enhance it in a cool way. You still buy that these are the superheroes and supervillains of Gotham, and the location has changed. They have their sensibility, but it's just the location, the costumes have changed. So I think it holds very, very true to that. Also, there's just, as we heard in the panel just now, there's that marvelous just nod to Bob Kane, with the Batman God, and I think they kept very true to it. But as with any franchise, with sort of reboots or different ways of looking at it, it's necessary to hold people's attention. We know Batman, we know the world so well, and that this is a delicious reimagining of things, and I think the fans are really going to love it.
Out of all the Alfreds, whether it be television, movies, animated series, is there one you really drew inspiration from and kind of modeled your voice after?
Oh, thanks for that. Yeah, well, my favourite Alfred of all time is Michael Caine, obviously. I mean, what's not to like about Michael Caine? And the interesting thing that Michael does in his, or the Chris Nolan version of that Alfred, is that traditionally the butler an English butler will have a sort of a sense of airs and graces beyond his station. So butlers traditionally working class, but they'll be very posh about certainly their mannerisms, and it'll creep into their speech. But the Michael Caine version, he is fully working class. He's like Master Bruce, and he's just himself. And I love that idea. of just having a proper working class Batman, Batman butler. So, but for mine, I think they were looking for something more formal. Certainly in the sort of the realm of feudal Japan, it seemed to make sense just with all his mannerisms and just how long he'd been there potentially, just to make him more proper than Kane's version. So it was just a much posher version of my own accent that I used and slightly I gave him some age. But I would have loved to. I just don't think it would have worked to sort of do a Michael Caine in the middle of feudal Japan. I just don't think it would have worked. You know what I mean? So much as I might have liked to have done that.
So you don't always record in the same space or the same realm as your original. So how do you kind of put yourself in the mindset of being able to like converse with other actors and doing all your lines?
Right. Yeah. Well, in this particular version of it, obviously none of us were in the booth at the same time, in the studio at the same time. If you're lucky, you'll have had the other actors have been in before you, and they'll give you some playback, and then you'll do your line. Otherwise, the director sort of has to go, okay, they kind of said it like this, and then they'll give it to you, and then you just do your best to and you know, you just have to have your wits about you, and it sort of meshes and sort of works. Hopefully, I think it did today quite well. Found that in Final Fantasy II, TOO, Final Fantasy 15. But none of us were in the booth at the same time, and it's like, you know, 60 hours of gameplay, and somehow it does work because the director was so. This is how Robbie said it. This is how Ray said it, and he gives you enough of a clue to come in at the right timbre, which is useful. It's a lot about the director, actually. Yeah. And certainly Michael was fantastic on this. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
All right, I gotta move it.
Thanks so much, guys.